You've been in the job since July. The season just starts. How are things going for you?
Yes, it's quite been a frantic kind of 8-9 weeks really. Pre-season's gone well. It was just a case of coming in and getting to know the players first and foremost, getting to know their personalities, what kind of players we had within the programme before I arrived. And pre-season's gone very well. It's been intense. The boys have worked hard. Games have got progressively better, and we've taken a lot of positives out of a lot of games pre-season. We've set the players different challenges, right, pre-season that they've seemed to have taken on board and they've bought into. So it's just pre-season can drag on. Players want to play competitive football, and that's kind of where we are with it now. The league starts next week in terms of the conference and the development league. We've just had our first game in the Ryman League, which we didn't get the result that we wanted, but there was positives to take out of the game, and obviously things that we need to work on throughout the season. But they're getting used to me, my ideas, and what I want from my teams, and what I expect, and they are starting to kind of take that on board now. So, but in general, the whole club has been very, very positive from top to bottom. Barry's been to watch a lot of our games. Chris takes a lot of interest in the academy. So the future is looking good, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's not going to happen overnight. But if we carry on working hard and we're going the way we're going and keep progressing, then the future looks good.
And you said it's already been busy. There are 4 games next week.
Correct.
That it never lets up, does it?
No, and that's kind of the beauty of it really for the players as well. All the players get a lot of game time throughout the season. So there's nobody in squads, out of squads. There's a lot of football to be played over the season, and everybody's going to be used at a certain time throughout the season in a lot of games. So that's the kind of beauty that we have with the squads and the players we have. So the boys are always playing. So, and that's any young player wants to do. They just want to play football and enjoy it.
Some of those games against the likes of Brentford, Luton Town, established Football League academies, and then even a greater step up, the likes of Bournemouth and Southampton will be involved. It's a really good, strong test to prove how good these players can be. Yeah,
and as players, that's what you want. You want to be challenged. You want to play against the best teams around. We can all play against teams where you can win 5 or 6-0, but for games like that, I don't take anything from that really. It's the games that you're playing against, like you say, your established teams, your Lutons, your Brentfords, your Southamptons. They're the challenges that the players want and want to test themselves and pit their wits against really. So, like I say, there's a lot of fixtures against a lot of strong teams throughout the season. So hopefully, kind of like I say, we can keep progressing, keep growing, keep improving, and we'll see where it takes us.
You're in the process of launching the new age group categories as well. I think 4 have already been launched. How is that going? Yeah,
it's been positive in terms of the interest and the trials that we've held. The standard's been very high. The squads that we've put together for the under-15s and the 16s, they started their respective leagues on Saturday. Again, results-wise, it didn't go our way, but in terms of the positives we took out, there was a lot, and also there's a lot of stuff to work on. But again, it's brand new, kind of in terms of the setup, the process, and it will take time to establish it. And again, kind of build our philosophy of how we want it to be from under-15s and hopefully lower down in the years to come when we start to build age groups from lower down. Once we implement the philosophies that we want, that we'll build into the first team hopefully, then it's looking good.
That's it, the ethos. It's a chance to develop from teenage years through to the senior, the full-time academy. It's to keep players and imbue that Aldershot Town ethos into them. What's your thinking behind that?
It's if the earlier that we can get them into the academy and keep them in the academy, the easier the process is to bring them through, because we know their personalities, we know what they're capable of doing, and also they're already in the system, so they know the philosophy of the football club, they know the way we want to play straight away. So by the time they get to 16 and they come into the full-time academy, they already know the roles and responsibilities of what it takes to play at this level. And hopefully, like I say, you never know what we're going to get in the system over the next couple of years. That hopefully 1 or 2 will come from under 15 all the way up to the first team. And that's the long-term goal for myself, for Alan, and for the academy, is that we actually start to produce players for the first team. But first and foremost, they need to be good enough, and that's what is needed. They need to be ready for full-time football, whether it be in the conference or hopefully in like the near to distant future we'll be back in the Football League, and they need to be ready for that. Because football it's a hard industry to be in, and we need to be able to build players ready for it.
That's a demanding standard to be ready for the first team. Clearly it's a long-term project, not something that's going to be achieved in the next couple of months, but how do you assess the standard so far?
Standard's good. There is a lot of potential within the groups, from under 15s to all the way up to under 19s, but that potential is not going to get you in the first team. You need to be ready, you need to understand what it takes, you need to understand what first team management want of you and what it takes to play at first team level. So it's good that we have a lot of the boys around for the games, first team games, so they can see firsthand of what it takes to play in the first team, what you need, how you apply yourself, how you conduct yourself. That's what we're trying to build players to do, not just on the technical side of it, because technically we have a very strong group, but it's the game understanding side of it, what it takes to play at that level of football. And that's the long-term aim, is that we get players that can come in at 16 and by 19 they know what it is to take to play in the first team. So at any given time that Barry may be short on numbers in terms of the squad, they might be called upon. So Barry doesn't have to go out and recruit from other clubs and maybe get people in. He can start dipping into the academy where he knows that he's going to get players that are ready to play in the first team.
You've said alongside the technical ability, you're creating young men as well as young footballers, and that the education side, the mentality, the professionalism of how you carry yourself representing a football club, that's as much a part of the programme as kind of shooting and passing.
Yeah, you know, and we've set the ground rules early. Every day they're in, they train, they shake hands with the staff, they shake hands with the management staff. They turn up in the right attire with their older shot tracksuits. They're always dressed in the right stuff. It is about discipline and respect, and that's what you need in football, in any walk of life really. You know, you need to be respectful. You need to understand that we are in a professional environment. You know, you're here every day to train and work hard and develop and learn. You know, and it doesn't always come from myself, from Alan Tate, from the staff here. It has to come from within. And if you've got that discipline, that respect, you'll learn that respect, and you'll go on further in the game. You know, and that's what we're trying to build, is young men. So again, it takes time. You know, they have to understand that, but we will get there.